Hello, and welcome to Empowerment in Illness. I'm your host, Gwen. When you're living with chronic illness, it's easy to get consumed by what's being taken from you, the energy, the plans, the dreams that now feel out of reach. Sometimes, like with the message I recently received from a fellow warrior in our community who's being moved to hospice, we're reminded that life itself feels fragile. These moments shake us. They remind us of the reality that illness doesn't wait for the perfect time, and that sometimes it places limits we never imagined. But they also shine a light on what really matters: the love we give, the memories we create, and the love we allow ourselves to embrace, even in the middle of pain. In this episode, we're going to talk about celebrating life now, not waiting for things to be perfect, not putting joy on hold until the illness is under control, but choosing to live fully in the moment we have, the small, ordinary, beautiful ones that illness cannot take from us. We'll explore what celebration can look like in everyday life with chronic illness, how to find gratitude when your body feels heavy, how to make room for laughter even on hard days, and how to honor the time we're given by living it with intention. When you're living with a chronic illness, it feels like joy has been stolen. The big things, vacation, milestones, even simple plans, may get canceled or reshaped by symptoms, hospital visits, or fatigue. The truth is, joy doesn't have to disappear. It just shifts. It shows up in smaller, quieter ways, and sometimes those small joys are even more powerful. A soft blanket right out of the dryer, the first sip of coffee or tea in the morning, a song that carries you back to a memory you love, the sound of laughter, yours or someone else's. These are not insignificant. They are celebrations in the middle of struggle, reminders that life still has sweetness even when it's hard. The mistake so many of us make is waiting for big joy. We wait for the perfect day when our pain is gone, our bodies are strong, or everything feels stable. But small joys are available right now, even in the middle of illness. And when you start naming them, you realize how much beauty you're still living with. So here's an encouragement for you. Take a moment today to notice one small joy. Say it out loud, write it down, or share it with someone else. It could be as simple as, I felt the sun on my face today. That act of noticing is an act of celebration. Because life is not just measured in years or accomplishment. It's measured in moments. And those small joys stacked together make a life worth living. It reminds me of the musical Rent. The main song says, measure your life in love. It talks about measuring life in daylight, and sunsets, in midnights, and cups of coffee, in inches, in miles, in laughter, and strife. It paints this picture of 525,600 minutes in a year, all of them filled with small joys that, when noticed and cherished, becomes the heartbeat of living. What's one small joy you noticed today that you might have overlooked yesterday? Gratitude is a word we hear all the time, and honestly, it can feel cliche or even impossible when you're in the middle of pain. How can you be grateful when your body is flaring, when you're exhausted, when hospital walls have become too familiar? Gratitude doesn't mean pretending everything is fine. It means choosing to notice what is still here, what is still good, even in the middle of the mess. Even when you're at your worst, you can find gratitude in something. It could be the relief of lying down on a comfy pillow after a hard day. It could be the warmth of a heating pad when your joints ache. Maybe it's the nurse who took a few extra minutes to listen, or the friend who checked in with the simple, how are you doing today? Gratitude doesn't have to cancel the pain. It sits right alongside it, giving you a little light in the darkness. For some warriors, gratitude is as simple as saying, I woke up today. For others, it's, I got to hug my child. or I heard my favorite song. These are not small things, these are victories. Gratitude doesn't erase the struggle, but it creates a balance so the pain isn't the only voice in the room. And here's the secret about gratitude: it doesn't need to be huge. You don't need to fill a journal with 10 things every day. You can start with just one thing, just one. On your hardest days, that one thing may be, I made it through this day. That counts, that matters, that's enough. So instead of seeing gratitude as pressure, like another task you have to get right, think of it as a lifeline, a whisper that says, I'm still here. There is still something to hold on to. Take a moment right now and name one small thing you're grateful for in this very moment. Is it your pillow, your blanket, your pet curled up beside you, or the text from a friend that made you smile? Say it out loud or write it down. That's your gratitude for today. When you hear the word legacy, it can sound big, like books, buildings, or fortunes left behind. But legacy is much simpler and more personal than that. Legacy is the mark you leave on the people around you. It's the stories, the laughs, the recipes, the lessons, the fingerprints of love that last long after you're gone. For someone living with chronic illness, creating legacy moments doesn't mean waiting for grand gestures. It can be as simple as writing a love letter to a loved one, recording a voice message, sharing a family recipe, or taking a photo on a good day. These little pieces become treasures. They remind people of who you are, what you love, and how you made them feel. But legacy isn't just digital. We also need to create mental memories, those precious snapshots of laughter, hugs, and conversations that live in the hearts of the people we love. When we are fully present in a moment, whether it's a shared meal, a game night, or even just sitting on the porch with someone, you're creating medicine for the soul. That presence say, you matter. This time matters. The truth is, legacy lives in the ordinary. When you encourage someone, when you share your story, when you hold space for another warrior's pain, you are leaving a legacy of compassion. When you laugh with your family, even in the middle of fatigue, you are creating memories they'll carry forever. You don't have to be at the end of your life to start thinking about legacy. Every day is a chance to make moments that matter. And chronic illness doesn't erase your ability to leave a mark. It often sharpens it, because you know how fragile life can be. You live with intention, and that intention inspires others. What is one legacy moment you can create this week? Maybe it's a handwritten note, a photo, or simply being fully present with someone you love. What memory do you want them to carry with them long after this moment has passed? Laughter is more than just a reaction. It's medicine. Believe it or not, science tells us that laughter can actually ease pain in some cases. It releases endorphins, those feel-good chemicals in your brain that lift your mood and relax your body. And sometimes, when you're overwhelmed by symptoms of stress, all you really need is a good laugh. It won't cure the illness, but it can lighten the load you carry. Think about those moments when laughter snuck in, even on a hard day. Maybe it was a silly TV show that had you laughing so hard your stomach hurt. Maybe it was a conversation with a friend who knows just how to tease you out of your funk. Or maybe it was laughing at yourself when you mixed your words or dropped something for the third time. Because sometimes laughter is how we release the tension. These moments aren't trivial, they're survival. And then there's light. Light shows up in simple ways: sitting in the sun, opening the curtains, lighting a candle, or noticing the glow on a loved one's face. Light doesn't erase the darkness, but it keeps you from being consumed by it. Both laughter and light are reminders that joy and hope still lives alongside illness. So if you find yourself in pain, don't feel guilty for reaching for laughter or leaning into light. They don't minimize your struggle. They magnify your resilience. They show that even in the hardest seasons, you're still human, still alive, still capable of joy. And that joy is its own kind of healing. When was the last time you laughed so hard it surprised you? And what's one small way you can bring more light into your life this week? Whether that's sunlight, candles, or time with someone who makes your heart brighter. One of the most powerful parts of living with chronic illness is the community that forms around it. Strangers become friends, friends become family, and together we learn that we don't have to walk this road alone. Recently, a warrior from my community reached out with a message that touched my heart. She's facing hospice care, and her words carry both heaviness and beauty. I won't share her name, but I will share this. Her message reminded me that even in the hardest moments, our lives are still worth celebrating. Her courage, her honesty, and her willingness to keep reaching out is part of her legacy, and it's a gift to us all. That message also reminded me why empowerment in illness exists. When I started this journey myself, I felt isolated and unseen. I wanted a place where we could not only share our struggles, but also celebrate our strength. A place where warriors could lift each other up, honor the hard days, and remind one another that joy still is possible. This platform was born out of my own need for connection, and it has grown into a space where we can celebrate the resilience of our community together. So today, I want to celebrate you, every listener, every warrior, every story that has been shared here. Whether you are at the beginning of your journey or decades in, you are part of a community that values your life, your voice, and your presence. Because when we celebrate each other, the weight feels a little lighter and the joy shines a little brighter. Who in the chronic illness community has encouraged you recently? How can you celebrate them today? With a thank you, a message, or simply by speaking their name with gratitude. This episode of Empowerment in Illness is brought to you by our Flare Day Essentials. We put together products designed to support you on the hardest days of your journey. Inside our store, you'll find items organized into categories for pain, fatigue, and equipment, so you can find exactly what you need when you need it. From cozy comfort items to tools that make daily life easier, these products were chosen with our warriors in mind. And every purchase not only helps you manage flare days, but also support this community and keeps this podcast going. You can find everything on Linktree in my bio. Before we leave, I would like to close with a special portion of the show I call Healing Heartbeats. This is where we allow ourselves to wallow in sorrow. Please give yourself 3 minutes to laugh, cry, scream, cuss, or just sit in silence. Whatever you need to do to feel it, do it. Let the depression in for only 3 minutes. Once you reach 3 minutes, compartmentalize it and get back to living. This is a rinse and repeat behavior. You cannot let depression take over, because when it does, it will not let go. When we hear about the passing of someone, they have the day they were born and the day they pass away. There is a dash in the middle. It's not a long line, but a short dash. That dash represents your life. Don't live in spite of having a chronic illness. Don't let your condition stop you. Today we've talked about celebrating life in the middle of illness, not waiting for the perfect moment, not waiting until your body feels strong again, but embracing joy right here, right now. We've looked at the small joy that carries us, the gratitude that keeps us balanced, the legacy moments that leave fingerprints of love, the laughter and the light that ease our pain, and the community that holds us when we feel most alone. If you take anything away from this episode, let it be this. Celebration isn't reserved for big events. Celebration lives in the everyday. It's in the cup of coffee you enjoy, the hug that lingers, the sunlight on your face, the giggle that escapes when you least expect it. These moments don't erase the illness, but they remind you that you are alive and your life is still worth living fully. I want you to hear this clearly. Your life matters. Whether you are celebrating from a hospital bed, from your couch, or on a rare day when you feel strong enough to leave the house, you are valuable. Illness may shape your journey, but it does not take away your worth. your purpose, or your ability to create joy. And here's the beauty: when you choose to notice joy, when you practice gratitude, when you leave behind memories and legacy moments, you're not only sustaining yourself, you're giving a gift to the people around you. You're creating ripples of hope and resilience that carry forward into the lives of others. That's what community is. That's what empowerment in illness is all about. So this week, I encourage you to take one step into celebration. Notice one small joy. Name one piece of gratitude. Create one memory with someone you love. Laugh out loud. Let light into your space. And remember that in doing these things, you are not just surviving illness, you are living fully and beautifully. Remember, you have the strength, the heart, and the support to continue your journey. Be safe.